Hi, everybody. Welcome to a new week and a new edition of Houston Sports Weekly, our weekly sports podcast on KPRC 2 Plus and click2houston.com. I'm KPRC 2 Sports Director Randy McElvoy. Great to have you with us again. If you're watching, you can see me. Otherwise, maybe perhaps you're driving. Well, you're listening to me right now. We appreciate you checking in here on our podcast this week. We've got a really cool one laid out today now as we inch closer to a new NFL season for the Houston Texans. They begin the DeMeco Ryans era. And I had the chance this past week to sit down with owner, CEO, and chairman Cal McNair and vice president of the Texans Foundation, Hannah McNair, about all things Texans as we get ready for this new season. Here's some of that conversation. All right, so we've reached game week. It's been a long off season, busy off season, on and off the field, getting ready for the new year. What's the feeling like right now from where y'all are sitting, knowing the opener's coming up on Sunday?
Finally. Finally, yeah, we've been working hard the whole off season, like every off season, but we felt this one went really particularly well. And we're excited to see the guys on the field, excited to go up, and it's going to be a quality opponent. In a really fun atmosphere to go up and play. So we can't wait. We're excited.
Cal said last night, we were sitting there, no TVs on or anything, just sitting, and Cal said, well, this time next week we'll know what we have. And I think that's true, right? Everybody's anticipating the first game. You want to know what your team looks like, and sometimes that first game can help set the tone.
Yeah, we'll know more than we do now, for
yes.
sure.
What's it like, I think a lot of people, because y'all obviously go to all the games home and away, what's it like during a game, just watching and just leading up to it? Because you're not only y'all ownership of the team, but you are fans too. I mean, it's you kind of live through it during these games up in the box.
We bleed through it. we live through it. We love the game. We're watching it very intently, and we're having a lot of conversations back and forth. At the end of every quarter, they bring us the stats, and so we get to see the stats and see quarterback ratings and conversions on third down and hidden yardage and all those things we get to see, and so we're into it, and yeah, it's pretty intense.
Cal has to remind me often that, Hannah, you may be on film, so please stop making faces and standing up and shouting.
You got to be aware of that,
I'm
don't you?
intense during the games.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. We're both very competitive. We grew up playing sports and team sports at that, so we love it. You have to love it, and we live and breathe.
Yep, we talked during the off season a couple times at events, and we were talking about getting the fans on board, and from what I recall, I think the bottom line is, hey, we got to start winning too. It's about who we're bringing in and how we're carrying ourselves, but it's about winning as well. And you just kind of mentioned being the competitive nature that y'all have. End of the day, it is about hopefully starting to pile up some wins, right?
That's exactly right. And starts Sunday, and it continues. It's a long season, so you don't want to get too high or too low, and keep battling and keep improving as the season goes on. And Nick and Coach talk about a process, and they believe in it, and we believe in it. And it's kind of like a steam engine. Once it gets going, it gets rolling. We feel a lot of momentum, and we can't wait to see what's going to roll out this season.
Yeah, we're obviously not where we want to be. We want to be people talking about us being in playoffs, and hopefully that's what they're talking about come December. We'd love to see that, but I think we've got a lot of really good young players on both sides of the ball with a great coach that's going to take us to good places.
Y'all hired DeMeco Ryans, and obviously what the reaction's been in the city. It's brought the buzz back in the city, and when you look back at that process and the day he was introduced at that news conference inside, all the players showed up, the support. How did that make y'all feel from day one when y'all made that hire and made it official?
Well, he stepped into those shoes, and he is who he is. He's very authentic, and we could see that through our process. And of course, we've known him, for a long time. On top of that, so it was really nice to see him just make that natural progression and step into those shoes and assume the leadership that he's worked and earned their shot at it, and to see all the people that he knew when he was here really back him and the excitement of it, and so it's been really, really rewarding.
I think it was confirmation when you see these former players, guys who have helped build this organization and been here throughout the years, really come and support. It was confirmation to us and I think to the city when the fans watching what we were doing so intently that we are on the right track.
He talks often, the other day at a Zeus conference, about the opportunity he has here in Houston being a head coach for the first time. And he says, hey, I love football, I love coaching the game, but I'm also more about as well, helping these guys grow off the field, husbands, family guys. And I know that's the message I want too as this organization. And it's a lot about football, we know that, but it's a lot more than that too.
It is a lot more than that because there's a lot going on in these young men's life, and we tend to focus as fans on what they do on Sunday for 70 plays or whatever they're in for, but really there's a whole year behind that and things are going through, and for the coach to recognize that and embrace it, and the players feel it. And so I think it's exactly what we're hoping to do.
And for a family, your greatest success is when you can all grow together. And I think the atmosphere here is family. We're all growing together. We're in this together, and we all have each other's backs. And that also speaks to what D'Amico's saying is that, hey guys, we're in this together, and we all got to go together. So
the great group of draft picks that came in, and obviously the first round, CJ and Will Anderson Jr. How pleased have you all been already, just the way they carry themselves? Everybody knows the talent we're going to see on the field, but it kind of goes into that same category, just the way they carry themselves on and off the field. Young guys stepping into the NFL for the first time.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and it was really exciting and gratifying to see CJ be voted in as a captain, as a rookie. Says a lot about who he is and how the team feels about him and how he earned the job, and he's won the locker room, and that's a lot of fun. And then to see Will out there, and where the coaches are saying, okay, Will, calm down a little bit, offense has got to run some plays too. So, and I think we're going to see that on Sunday from both these guys, so we're excited for that, and really a bright future for them.
I think part of Nick's process is really bringing in guys that do embody that leadership role. I mean, you have Petrie, who's a second year, who's also a captain. That says a lot about the guys that Nick is bringing in through the draft process.
I want to talk a little bit about all the work y'all have done off the field with the foundation. I mean, y'all work husband and wife, but y'all are partners too in this as well. I want to talk a little bit about that and how proud you are of Hannah, what she's done with the foundation work, and how that's continued to build year after year as well.
Well, Mom and Dad were partners, and so that's kind of the model we like to follow, and they are such a great model. And Mom's still my boss, and so love her to death. And she loves coming to the practices and games, and so that is our model. And she was very involved, just like Hannah's been very involved in the foundation on the charity side, but also, helping me day to day at times, and working through things that we're working through constantly. And she's a great resource and someone I lean on a lot. So she's the world to me. So it's pretty awesome.
How about you? Haven't been involved so much with that.
I'm honored, really, that he respects my opinion so much, and it's true. His mom and dad were true partners, and I think I'm so blessed that Cal got to see that as an example growing up, and that he embraces me as his partner. I truly feel special. On the foundation side, I think that's the heart of who we are as an organization, is giving back, and through the foundation we can really show that we are about helping Houston, and we are a family, and we are about lifting each other up and creating opportunity by being champions for youth. We just had one of our big events last week, and we raised almost $890,000, which is just a record, and that's thanks to everyone coming together for the greater good. So really love that we get to show our heart through the foundation.
Yeah, the wins are nice, but success stories like that, makes it, hey,
those last a lifetime. Yeah. They do, changing lives.
Yeah, we want to win football games, but at the same time, we want to do it the right way, and we want to make Houston a better place. So we want a win-win-win thing, and it's not being greedy, but it's just how we really want to handle it and see things go.
I want to ask y'all a question. Just last few years have been tough when it comes to the win column, and how tough has that been on the two of you as the two of the faces of this organization to kind of fight through that? Assure the fan base that we are on the right track as an organization. But the last few years, I would imagine, have been tough in some areas.
Well, Dad would say if it was easy, anyone could do it. So because it's tough, it has been a challenge, and we've been going through a bit of a valley, and sometimes you got to do that to get to the other side. And we were very confident in our vision, and we just had to work through it, and we're glad the fans are there with us. And like I mentioned earlier, it's like a steam engine with a lot of momentum, and we can't wait to see where this thing's going to go.
I think most of that is Cal staying steady and consistent, and not letting things deter him from what he wants to see and what he wants to build. It's so easy to get bogged down in the negativity and just take it personally, but he knew that if he kept on the path and remained steady, that he could make Houston proud, and hopefully that we hold that trophy and we won't look back.
That's the goal.
It'd be all worth it.
That's the goal.
Hey, y'all both know, obviously, with the potential changes coming next spring with some of the uniform tweaks. Yes, I know y'all can't divulge much of anything right now, but how exciting is that, knowing y'all pretty happy with what's kind of on the table right now that could be coming? The fans are excited right now.
So that's something that we've picked up from the fans. They really wanted to see a uniform refresh, and we took a look at our closet, if you will, with the 4 uniforms, and the opportunity to have one that speaks to each sort of segment. So we have more of a traditional one, and then we sort of branch out, and the other side is going to be really exciting to see how the fans react to that one. So it's fun, but a lot of tradition, but a lot of what the fans have been saying they want to see in the uniform as well.
If you're going to change it, you might as well go exciting. Yeah. And we're thankful we had Doug Vosick joined us last year, and he's really helped lead the charge, challenging us to go bold, and we appreciate that because it truly does help us see things from all sides, and he's been wonderful.
Y'all kind of feel can you sense from could y'all stay connected with the fan base? Y'all sense the excitement from that end when y'all go out?
Oh yeah, we do. But we'll have tradition, yeah. And then we'll have some new things, maybe with a slightly different color thrown in there, but in a very nice way, so respectful. And
you can go and tell us right now if you want.
Just wait. 2024.
As we wrap it up, we're sitting inside a beautiful NRG Stadium. It's empty right now. Next week 2, this place is going to be rocking. This is home. This is a home field advantage. When you fill this place, it's a difference maker. And I know y'all want that to happen again. And hey, as we're speaking here right now, I think it's about to sell out, close to it. What's that going to mean week 2 when y'all come here against Indianapolis?
Sellout house, Liberty white. White out, wear your whites, be loud, bring that home field advantage back. And so we're excited about this Sunday, but that next week coming home is going to be really special. Our
kickoff to the season. So we're really, really excited about that. And, we hear often from other teams that when this place is rocking, it's very difficult to play here. So fans, be quiet on offense. On defense, just get loud. Get loud. Don't let them have any advantage over us. Let's take it away.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
It'll be a great atmosphere. Listen, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. I know this is going to be a big year for the Texans, and on and off the field, you are doing so many great things, and of course, D'Amico leading the way on the coaching staff as well. So thank you all for the time. Hopefully a great season ahead.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Awesome.
All right, great conversation with both Cal and Hannah McNair. I appreciate the time. And, hey, that was a cool setting on the field there at NRG Stadium. Again, home opener coming up a week from Sunday. They'll open at Baltimore and then home next Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts. Good luck to the Texans throughout the season. All right, coming up now on the Houston Sports Weekly, we're going to take a break. When we come back, though, conversation now with our insider for click2houston.com and the Texans, Aaron Wilson. He joined me and Ari on Sports Sunday as we get you ready for the new season that kicks off on Sunday when Houston Sports Weekly continues. And welcome back to Houston Sports Weekly, everybody, our weekly sports podcast here on KPRC2 Plus and click2houston.com. Again, I'm KPRC2 Sports Director Randy McElvoy. The first segment, you heard the conversation in depth with both Cal and Hannah McNair as they get ready for this new football season that kicks off Sunday in Baltimore, the beginning of the DeMeco Ryans era. The excitement certainly is building, and keep your fingers crossed on the weather in Baltimore coming up Sunday as well. Earlier this week, our insider for the Texans and does so for click2houston.com, Aaron Wilson stopped by studio, as he does often for Sports Sunday. He joined myself along with Ari Alexander and Chancellor Johnson as we talked all things Texans, previewing the season, talking about the quarterback, the rookie quarterback, C.J. Stroud, running back Dameon Pierce. On down the list, we also talked about how many wins they might get this season, our predictions. Here's that conversation as we continue to spotlight the Houston Texans. And we are joined by our Texans insider. You know him well, Aaron Wilson, Texans insider for click2houston.com. Everybody's saying, well, what are y'all holding right now? It kind of feels like class maybe in session here. We're going to break these out in just a second. But, guys, hey, game week is here. We've gotten through the preseason now, matter of days. 1 week from today, it all starts in Baltimore.
It's going to be exciting. You think about game week. Finally, these games count. Finally, the matchups are something worth talking about. Preseason football, can't get too into that. And now, finally, and a tough opponent, too.
You use the word exciting. I like to use the word energy. We've had it all offseason long, the hiring of DeMeco Ryans. Now, as you just mentioned, it's time to play the real thing and see how their rookie QB, C.J. Stroud, looks in some actual regular season action.
Texans fans will have to wait to get to NRG Stadium, which is apparently nearly sold out for the first home game. Week 1, though, on the road, Baltimore. Very tough. No breaks for the Texans.
Yeah, week 2 will be the home opener against the Colts. So, all right, we've each got a whiteboard here, guys. We figured going into the show tonight, we got 5 topics we're going to kind of touch on. We're each going to weigh in and, hey, let's have a little fun with it. So let's begin with the rookie quarterback, C.J. Stroud. So much attention on Stroud, guys. There's really 3 guys, rookies, that are going to be starting quarterbacks from week 1. So we're debating here who's going to be the top rookie quarterback when it's all said and done. Ari, we're going to start with you, and we'll just kind of fire off our opinions here. What are you going with?
So I got Bryce Young, and that's mostly due to I don't think Anthony Richardson is going to be it. I think if C.J. Stroud was going to be the number 1 pick, he would have been the number 1 pick. I think Bryce Young is the safer pick. I think Anthony Richardson, the highest ceiling. Stroud somewhere in the middle.
All right. I think Young's going to have a good year. I don't think any of these 3 are going to have, like, off-the-chart great years. I think they're going to be good. I'm going to go with Stroud just because I think when it's all said and done, the offensive line, I think, is going to be a little bit better than what they've got in Carolina. I'm going to go with C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, Randy, when you think about the 3 rookies, no one predicts Anthony Richardson's going to have a ton of success. Seems like the rawest of the 2, or rather the 3. And you think about C.J., I like the polish, I like the accuracy, and I like his ability to throw from the pocket. Just seems like a more traditional pocket passer, more equipped for rookie success.
There you go.
C.J. Stroud.
Feels like a game show or something.
I know, right? I'm going to go with Bryce Young out of the Carolina Panthers. They named him the Week 1 starter early on. They didn't wait as long as the Houston Texans did. I think they were going to give him the keys to this offense, and they're going to really let him run around and control that offense. They're going to swing the rock around a lot. And so I think with C.J. Stroud, they're going to run the ball a lot more. They're going to try to slow things down versus the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young will be given the keys a little bit more, so I think he'll have better numbers. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony Richardson also could be in that conversation as well. Develops a little bit under that Shane Steichen offense.
All right. You talk about the running game, and I agree. The Texans are going to run the ball crazy, I think, from the get-go. Leads us into the topic of Dameon Pierce now, set to begin season number 2 with the Texans. Last year finished 939 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was hurt in Week 13. If you really project that out to a full season, he would have been over 1,200 yards. So year number 2. Let's throw out a number. How many yards do you think he's going to get? All right.
There we go. 1,500. They run the ball a lot. I've already drafted him in my fantasy draft, so I am rolling with Dameon Pierce. I think he stays healthy. I think they run a ton. I think the O-line gets better as the season goes on. He is one of the best after-contact runners in the league. He might win a rushing title. I got 1,500 plus on Pierce.
All right, Chancellor, let's go to you.
I'm not going to go as high as 1,500. I'll go 1,350. I think, as you just mentioned, they'll run the ball a lot, especially like as we've seen previously in the Shanahan offenses. I think he stays healthy. He gets over that 1,000-yard mark, and gets 1,350 yards.
Aaron's struggling with the legibility over here.
Yeah, a little bit. Handwriting, not my strong suit. Come on, Ryder. More of a typer.
Dr. Wilson over here.
1,409 yards.
He's really
okay.
1,227.
Okay.
And when you think about CJ's rookie year, it was cut short. 4 games left. He was averaging 72 yards a game. At my projection, he's going to be a lot higher than that this year. I like him for 1,409 exactly. Maybe if you're out there listening, that's the number.
1,409.
Don't have the 15.
I love Dameon Pierce. We've heard from him earlier in the show as well. Again, I think it's all about health. He showed what he can do last year, and this O-line's got to get the job done. I think they will enough. He's going to get enough carries for sure. I'm going to go with 1,275 yards, 10 touchdowns. I think he's going to go double-digit touchdowns for Dameon Pierce.
We should play this bag like the Price is Right, see who got close.
Oh, I think we need to. Absolutely. All right, let's go wide receivers, guys. We were talking about C.J. Stroud. Who's going to be the leading wide receiver for the Texans when it's all said and done? You've got options. Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz. You've got Robert Woods, maybe. Somebody else maybe you like. But mainly those three. Who do you think is going to be the top receiver?
Well, I'll start things off. A lot of hype has been on a rookie wide receiver, Tank Dell, but I'm going to go with Nico Collins. I think this is his breakout year that we've been wanting to see from him since he first got drafted to the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud has really relied on him a lot throughout the preseason. They seem to have really great chemistry. I'm going to go with Nico Collins, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dalton Schultz is up there as far as the top 2 pass catcher for the Houston Texans.
Right. I also agree. Going with Nico Collins. You think about Nico, we watched all the practices. Most frequently targeted. Guy that he relied on the most on sideline routes, jump balls, the contested catches, and Nico, if he can put it all together and be durable for the first time in his NFL career, I think he leads them in catches and yards.
All right, I'm going to keep this short too. I think they're going to use the tight end like crazy this year in this offense. I like all these guys. I do. Keep my fingers crossed that Nico can stay healthy. That's going to be the key for him. But I like Dalton Schultz. I think Schultz is going to be the top target for the Texans. I think when it's all said and done, the tight end is going to lead the way.
Rookie quarterbacks love to check down, and they love to check down to tight ends. I got Dalton Schultz easily over 500 yards. He's going to lead the team in catches and yards. I don't necessarily believe that Nico Collins can stay healthy or break out in certain games. I'm all in on Dalton Schultz.
All right, 2 more quick ones before we wrap it up. Will Anderson Jr., the question we're going to pose now, can he reach 8 or more sacks his rookie season? Can he get there? Will he be limited? Who's ready to go? Well, so let's start with Aaron on this one, Aaron.
All right, I'm enthusiastic about this. A 10 for Will Anderson Jr., who celebrated his birthday this weekend. I think he's going to be NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think 10 sacks will get him to that award. And everything I've seen from him, I have no doubts about him at all.
All right, Chancellor?
Yeah, I'm going to go with he doesn't get 8 sacks. I think he gets below that. I think he'll be very productive in this DeMeco Lions defense, but I don't think he'll get 8 sacks. I think he'll maybe be closer to that, around 7 or so, but I think he has a real impact on this defense.
All right.
8.5. I think he gets over the 8 sacks. I think he has a good year. Give him an extra half. I think he's got a real chance to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. If it's not him, I think it's going to be a surprise, something that we wouldn't think of.
All right. I think he's going to get 8 on the nose. I'm going to go yes on this. And then watch out year number 2, I think, is when he really breaks out. Again, assuming he stays healthy and all. He's a big-time player, and he's going to play a big role in this Texas defense. All right, last question real quick before we run out of time. The season's going to start in Baltimore. How about the win total now? We got to make our projections for total wins this coming season. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Who's ready?
I think they're going to double last year's win total. They were 3-13-1. This year, I think they win 6. It's a soft schedule. You play the NFC South. The AFC South isn't very good, and the Texans have an improved roster and a better coach in DeMeco Ryans, in my opinion. 6.
I'm going to go one up higher than you. I'm going to go with 7. As you just mentioned, that schedule is sharp and soft. The NFC South division, they stink. The AFC South division, they stink as well. I think they'll have a lot of opportunities to rack up some wins. And if you remember last year, they were in a lot of close ball games. I think they get over the hump in some of those, and they get 7 wins this year. Maybe one of the surprises of this NFL season.
All right.
Got 7 and 10 for the record. 7 wins, but down here it says path to 9 and 8. As Chancellor said, Their schedule is terrible. They have like 11 games against teams that they can beat. You go 6-5 and then scratch off a few more wins.
Yeah.
I could see a path to 9-8, but I got them at 7-10.
All right, I'm going to go with 7 wins for the Texans. A marked improvement. Hopefully they're in more of these ball games. It's all about how they can close and finish. And, hey, maybe it's even a higher number than 7 or some of these numbers were thrown out there. We will see. All we know is it is go time starting on Sunday in Baltimore. Texans open it up against the Ravens on the road. Aaron Wilson?
Holding up that 6.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. We look forward to coverage on click2houston.com. Appreciate you, man. All right, special thanks to our insider for click2houston.com, Aaron Wilson. Nobody does it better than he does, covering the Houston Texans and the NFL as well. So, are you ready for some football? NFL officially kicked off, of course, Thursday night with the Chiefs and Lions, but the first full Sunday is coming up this weekend. The Texans will be in Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Weather could be an issue on Sunday. Hopefully the weather gets out of there before kickoff or gets pushed back to later in the afternoon. We will certainly find out. But it's the debut for head coach DeMeco Ryans. It's also the debut for rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud. He has won the job. He will lead the offense onto the field in Baltimore. It's a 12 noon kickoff on Sunday. Home opener a week from Sunday, NRG Stadium. It's going to be a sellout against the Indianapolis Colts. Again, special thanks to Cal and Hannah McNair, also Aaron Wilson, and thanks for checking us out this week on Houston Sports Weekly. We'll do it again next week right here on click2houston.com and at KPRC2+. Have a great weekend, everybody.